Yeah, hi, my name is Nick Gravum, and we're here at the Downworks, the birthplace of Osprey Packs. This is the house where Mike used to live. At one point he redid the plaster work on the ceiling just as a way of like autographing it. He just put his name in there. Somehow that information got out to some of his Japanese followers, and they'll walk through the building just looking around somewhat starstruck. And they always are looking for that name, Mike, in the ceiling.
There. Well, I had simple hopes. I merely wanted to work for myself.
Growing up, we always thought backpacking was really cool and fun, and we just became sort of nerds about design of equipment. And in those days, lots of people made their own equipment. In those days, a lot of people did their own everything. They'd fix their own cars, they'd make their own vegetable gardens, they'd build their own houses. And we were just part of that big feeling that you could do it yourself.
We all were just trying to make things, and Mike was making probably everything. Mike used to make bike frames too, so he made his bike frame to go touring in Europe, and bicycle panniers.
When he was a teenager, he built a redwood canoe. He made all my maternity clothes. He cuts his dad's hair. The man can cook. Is he a good driver? I think he's a pretty good driver if I'm not in the car. He gets kind of lost, right, left, right, which direction to go. It's not like he's bad at it, but he's a super handy guy. He's one of those gifted people that way.
My personal philosophy is that I enjoy life more if I'm surrounded by things that I built myself. I understand my surroundings and I connect better with my environment.
Our friends asked us to make stuff for them. We saw the potential of having businesses organized around what we thought was really fun and cool.
So Nick and I and Shelley talked about it, and we both sort of agreed that they could handle down products in town and I would make backpacks.
Just like a cottage industry, one-off to customers that came in. Both of us got all of our business from just word of mouth, people talking about our products to their friends in town.
Morning.
Hi.
Nick and Shelley are very good at letting me know when we don't hit the mark right.
They like criticism. When we get a new set of packs at the beginning of each season, we try them on ourselves and go through them and look at them. And whenever we've spotted areas that were in some way not done how we would think logical, we've always been able to just call Osprey up and talk to them about it. And they've always really appreciated that input because they're all about just trying to get the best stuff out there.
When I got married, we decided to move to a new place, and also at that time we decided to go into wholesale business, so we needed a larger manufacturing facility.
In the 80s, I started out working for I think $5 an hour and doing some office work. The company wasn't doing great in terms of an income for us. We also were doing, making bicycle battery packs, wheelchair cushions for O'Neill. Mike made a prototype of a backpack tent surfboard carrier. It was really tough to make a living, and we had a hard time in Santa Cruz keeping people working. If the Grateful Dead was in town or the surf was up, people would not show up.
It just was a constant struggle, so we decided to look outside the area.
The demand was there always for Mike's packs. He was well known in the industry as an innovative designer, but if we didn't have the labor, we couldn't make it work. We received some information about Cortez, Colorado. We had an 8-track video sent to us called Consider Cortez.
We just sort of stumbled on the Four Corners where there was an abundance of skilled sewing operators, primarily Navajos from previous factories that had closed down.
The economic development people took us up to Dolores. One of the reasons we went to Dolores is because we looked at the map and it was the one piece of the map that was green. Mike happened to look over and see this white larger building, kind of had a unique architectural style. We just walked in there and it turned out to be a Gore-Tex factory that was closing that day. So, in other words, sewing machines, labor, materials, building, closing that day. So, being from Santa Cruz, we figured this was a pretty cosmic thing. We better go for it. Well, Marilyn Jones was our first person we hired, an incredible sewer, one of the best, and still with Osprey to this day.
It's because of my coworker, I speak mostly Navajo. But in between, there's words that I don't know. I say it in English, but mostly Navajo. Yat eh! I've been here since back in 1990, which is like 23 years. So back then there was me, Michael, and Linda Heine. There was only 3 of us.
When we moved to Dolores, I think we had $5,000 of receivables. That was about all we had to our name.
Osprey in the early days was a lot of fun. It was hard work because there just weren't that many people, and our business was pretty small, relatively speaking, but at the time it felt plenty big.
Dolores is a town of 800 people and very, very quiet. It was actually a very relaxing place. I think it was a wonderful place to raise kids. Recreationally, you couldn't beat it. And we knew that there was a pool of upwards of 100 people waiting to be hired if we needed them. So yes, we did grow fairly rapidly, I think. Maybe doubling every year at least.
It wasn't too long before we pretty much had filled the building. Probably within about 4 years, we purchased another building in Cortez, Colorado, which is about 12 miles south. By 1999, everything was down in Cortez. The company just grew. I mean, the demand for the product was there. It was just go down that road, and we went down that road, and the company just had success and growth, and it was really working really well for a long time.
Most of the places I go are quite urban. They can't really fathom the ruralness of Southwest Colorado. So I usually start by telling them a little bit about Cortez, which is 1/100th of their population, you know? And then I tell them where I live, which is in Dolores, which has about 1,000 people, and they just scratch their heads, and some of them just can't fathom it, can't fathom it.
Cortez as a town, I like it. It's small, it's convenient. I like to come here.
I think that's really a good place to live because, you know, you get to see the 4 seasons, fall, you know, winter, spring, summer, and there's not that many people here.
If you've ever seen a Western movie, there's big sky, big vistas, clean air.
You find a diversity here, both ethnic diversity of folks that are attracted to this area and want to be here, and a diversity of mentality of folks that are resistant to change, some folks that embrace change.
I like living out here and kind of proving to the world that good business can be done in a rural area, and providing great employment to a rural area and living kind of the real outdoor lifestyle.
If you're an outdoors person, there is so much to do here, whether you're just a casual hiker to the serious mountain biker. For my family, we hunt, we bike, we fish, we have a boat, we camp, backpack, snowboard.
Got to be one of the best areas maybe in the world for testing outdoor gear. You can get to the canyons in minutes, you can get up to the mountains.
If you go to the south, it's more like an Indian reservation, and if you go to the west, it's more like a desert, and then if you go to the north, and it's up in the mountains, and you can do about anything in Cortez.
I'm not originally from the area. I moved here specifically for Osprey.
I've been with Osprey for 12 years. I answered an ad in the paper. They were looking for a receptionist, and I've always wanted to do that kind of thing. That's what's in my blood. So I applied. I got the job. Here I am. Well, when I started, there was a sewing factory where the warehouse is.